Someday I'll find you, moonlight behind you, true to the dream I am dreaming. As I draw near you, you'll smile a little smile. For a little while we shall stand hand in hand. I'll leave you never, love you forever, all our past sorrow redeeming. Try to make it true, say you love me too. Someday I'll find you again.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Eric Goldstein, your host for the evening, and now please enjoy Drew Stone and Maria Guida in Act 2 of Noel Coward's Private Lives.
When the play begins, Amanda and Elliot have been divorced from each other for 5 years. They meet by chance in a posh hotel in France, where each of them, coincidentally, is now on honeymoon with a new spouse. Amanda has just married a man named Victor, and Elliot has just married a woman named Sybil. Alone on her hotel terrace, Amanda encounters Elliot, who is sitting on the adjoining terrace waiting for his new wife. Initially, they're horrified to see each other again at such an inopportune time, but after some reminiscing and soul-bearing, they confess that they're still in love with each other. They decide to run away together to Amanda's secret apartment in Paris, leaving their new and unsuspecting spouses flat. Before they escape, they make a pact that if they ever start their old habit of bickering, one of them will call out the name Solomon Isaacs, their special code word, a signal to immediately stop all conversation for a few moments and stop the fighting. As Act 2 opens, Amanda and Elliot have just finished dinner in the Paris apartment.
I'm glad we let Louise go. I'm afraid she's going to have a cold.
Going to have a cold? She's been grunting and snorting all the evening like a whole herd of bison.
Bison never sounds quite right to me somehow. I feel it ought to be bisons, a flock of bisons.
You might say a covey of bisons, or even a school of bisons.
Yes, lovely. The Royal London School of Bisons. Do you think Louise is happy at home?
No, profoundly miserable.
Family beastly to her.
Absolutely vile. Knock her about dreadfully, I expect. Make her eat the most disgusting food and pull her fringe.
Poor Louise. Have you ever crossed the Sahara on a camel?
Frequently. When I was a boy, we used to do it all the time. My grandmother had a lovely seat on a camel.
There's no doubt about it. Foreign travel's the thing.
Would you like some brandy?
Just a little.
I'm glad we didn't go out tonight.
Or last night.
Or the night before.
No need to, really, when we're cozy here.
Exactly.
It's nice, isn't it?
Strangely peaceful. It's an awfully bad reflection on our characters. You ought to be absolutely tortured with conscience.
We are, every now and then.
Not nearly enough.
We sent Victor and Sybil a nice note from wherever it was. What more can they want?
You're even more ruthless than I am.
I don't believe in crying over my bridge before I've eaten it.
Very sensible.
Personally, I'm grateful for a miraculous escape. I know now that I should never have been happy with Victor. I was a fool ever to consider it.
You did a little more than consider it.
Well, you can't talk.
I wonder whether they met each other or whether they've been suffering alone.
Darling, don't let's go on about it. It does make one feel rather awful.
I suppose one or other or both of them will turn up here eventually.
Bound to. It won't be very nice, will it?
Perfectly horrible.
Do you realize that we're living in sin?
Not according to the Catholics. Catholics don't recognize divorce. We're married as much as we ever were.
Yes, dear, but we're not Catholics.
Never mind, it's nice to think they'd sort of back us up. We were married in the eyes of heaven and we still are.
We may be all right in the eyes of heaven, but we look like being in a hell of a mess socially.
Who cares?
Are we going to marry again after Victor and Sybil divorce us?
I suppose so. What do you think?
I feel rather scared of marriage, really.
It is a frowsy business.
I think it was just the fact of our being married and clamped together publicly that wrecked us before.
That and not knowing how to manage each other.
Do you think we know how to manage each other now?
This week's been very successful. We hardly use Solomon Isaacs at all.
Solomon Isaacs is so long. Let's shorten it to Solix.
All right.
Darling, you do look awfully sweet in your little dressing gown.
Yes, it's pretty ravishing, isn't it?
Do you mind if I come round and kiss you?
A pleasure, Lady Agatha.
What fools we were to subject ourselves to 5 years' unnecessary suffering.
Perhaps it wasn't unnecessary. Perhaps it mellowed and perfected us like beautiful ripe fruit.
When we were together, did you really think that I was unfaithful to you?
Yes, practically every day.
I thought you would too. I used to torture myself with visions of you bouncing about on divans with awful widows.
Why widows?
I was thinking of Claire Lavenham, really.
Oh, Claire.
What did you say, oh, Claire, like that for? It sounded far too careless to me.
What a lovely creature she was.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Darling.
Did you ever have an affair with her? Afterwards, I mean?
Why do you want to know?
Oh, curiosity, I suppose.
Dangerous.
Oh, not now. Not dangerous now. I wouldn't expect you to have been celibate during those 5 years any more than I was.
What?
After all, Claire was undeniably attractive. A trifle over-vivacious, I always thought, but that was probably because she was fundamentally stupid.
What do you mean about not being celibate during those 5 years?
What do you think I mean?
Oh, God.
What's the matter?
You know perfectly well what's the matter.
Oh, you mustn't be unreasonable. I only did it to stamp out the memory of you. I expect your affairs well outnumbered mine anyhow.
That is a little different. I'm a man.
Oh, excuse me a moment while I get a caraway biscuit and change my crinoline.
It doesn't suit women to be promiscuous.
It doesn't suit men for women to be promiscuous.
Very modern, dear. Really, your advanced views quite startle me.
You mustn't be cross, Elliot. I haven't been so dreadfully loose, actually. 5 years is a long time. And even if I did nip off with someone now and again, they were none of them very serious.
Oh, do stop it, please.
Well, what about you?
Do you want me to tell you?
No, I don't. I take it all back. I don't.
I was mad in love with a woman
We're
in...
tormenting one another. I'm scared. We should have said Solix ages ago.
We're in love, all right.
Well, don't say it so bitterly. Let's try to get the best out of it this time instead of the worst.
What are you thinking about?
Oh, nothing in particular.
Come on, I know that face.
Poor Sybil.
Sybil?
Yes. I suppose she loves you terribly.
Not as much as all that. She didn't have a chance to get really underway.
I expect she's dreadfully unhappy.
Oh, do shut up, Amanda. We've had all that out before.
Well, we've certainly been pretty busy trying to justify ourselves.
This isn't a question of justifying ourselves. It's the true values of the situation that are really important. The moment we saw one another again, we knew it was no use going on. We knew it instantly, really, although we tried to pretend to ourselves that we didn't. What we've got to be thankful for is that we made the break straight away and not later.
You think we should have done it anyhow?
Well, of course, and things have been in a worse mess than they are now.
And if we never happened to meet again, would you have been quite happy with Sybil?
I expect so.
Oh, Elliot!
You look so stricken. It would have been the same with you and Victor. Life would have been smooth and amicable and quite charming, wouldn't it?
Poor dear Victor. He certainly did love me.
Splendid.
When I met him, I was so lonely and depressed, and I felt that I was getting old and crumbling away, unwanted.
It certainly is horrid when one begins to crumble.
He used to look at me hopelessly, like a lovely spaniel, and I sort of melted like snow in the sunlight.
It must have been an edifying spectacle.
Victor really had great charm.
You must tell me all about it.
He had a positive mania for looking after me and protecting me.
I would have died down in time, dear.
You mustn't be rude. There's no necessity to be rude.
I wasn't in the least rude. I simply made a perfectly rational statement.
Your voice was decidedly bitter.
Victor had glorious legs, hadn't he, and fascinating ears.
Don't be silly.
He probably looked radiant in the morning, all flushed and tumbled on the pillow.
I never saw him on the pillow.
I'm surprised to hear it.
Elliot,
No need to be cross.
what did you mean by that?
I'm sick of listening to you yapping about Victor.
Now look here, Elliot, once a
Oh, yes, Solix! Solix, 2 minutes! Solix!
What?
Solix. That was a near thing.
It was my fault. I'm terribly sorry, darling.
I was very irritating. I know I was. I'm sure Victor was awfully nice, and you're perfect right to be sweet about him.
That's downright handsome of you, sweetheart.
I think I love you more than ever before. Isn't it ridiculous?
How long, oh Lord, how long?
What do you mean, how long, oh Lord, how long?
This is far too perfect to last.
You have no faith. That's what's wrong with you.
Absolutely none.
Don't you believe in...
No, do you?
No? What about...
Dear, no.
Don't you believe in anything?
Oh, yes. I believe in being kind to everyone and giving money to old beggar women and being as gay as possible.
What about after we're dead?
I think a rather gloomy merging into everything, don't you?
I hope not. I'm a bad merger.
You won't know a thing about it.
I hope for a glorious oblivion like being under gas.
I always dream the most peculiar things under gas.
Would you be young always if you could choose?
No, I don't think so. Not if it meant having awful bull's glands popped into me.
Cows for you, dear. Bulls for me.
We certainly live in a marvelous age.
Too marvellous. It's all right if you happen to be a specialist at something, then you're too concentrated to pay attention to all the other things going on. But for the ordinary observer, it's too much.
Much, much too much.
Take the radio, for instance.
Oh, no, darling, don't let's take the radio.
Aeroplanes then, and cosmic atoms, and television, and those gland injections we were talking about just now.
It must be so nasty for the poor animals being experimented on.
Not when the experiments are successful. Why, in Vienna, I believe you can see whole lines of decrepit old rats carrying on like tiller girls.
Oh, how very, very sweet.
Oh, I do love you so.
Oh, don't blow, dear heart. It gives me the shivers.
Swivel your face round a bit more.
Is that better?
Very nice, thank you kindly.
Darling, you're so terribly, terribly dear and sweet and attractive.
We were raving mad, ever to part, even for an instant.
Utter imbeciles.
I realized it almost immediately, didn't you?
Far before we got our decree.
My heart broke on that damn trip round the world. I saw such beautiful things, darling. Moonlight shining on old temples, strange barbaric dances in jungle villages, scarlet flamingos flying over deep, deep blue water. Breathlessly lovely and completely unexciting because you weren't there to see them with me.
Take me at once. Let's make up for lost time.
Next week?
Tomorrow.
Done.
I must see those dear flamingos. Oh, 8 years all told we've loved each other. 3 married and 5 divorced.
Angel, angel, angel.
Oh, no, Elliot, stop.
Why should I stop? You know you adore being made love to.
It's so soon after dinner.
You really do say most awful things.
I don't see anything particularly awful about that.
No sense of glamour. No sense of glamour at all.
Well, it's difficult to feel really glamorous with a crick in the neck.
When you say you had a crick in your neck,
It's gone now.
how convenient.
I want one, please.
Here.
Match?
Wait a minute, can't you?
Chivalrous little love.
Here.
Thank you very much indeed.
You really can be more irritating than anyone in the world.
I fail to see what I've done that's so terribly irritating.
You have no tact.
Tact. You have no consideration.
Too soon after dinner, indeed.
Yes, much too soon.
That sort of remark shows rather a common sort of mind, I'm afraid.
Oh, it does it?
Very unpleasant, makes me shudder.
Making all this fuss just because your silly vanity is a little upset.
Vanity? What do you mean, vanity?
You can't bear the thought that there are some moments when our chemical, what do you call them, don't fuse properly.
Chemical what do you call 'ems? Please try to be more explicit.
You know perfectly well what I mean, and don't you try to patronize me.
Now look here, Amanda.
Oh, Solix, dear God, Solix.
But listen.
Solix, triple Solix.
Someday I'll find you, moonlight behind you, true to the dream I'm dreaming. As I draw near you, you'll smile a little smile.
Big romantic stuff, darling.
Yes, big romantic stuff. You're the most thrilling, exciting woman that was ever born.
Dearest heart.
Oh, good God!
Do you think it's them?
Amanda!
Nobody knows we're here except Frida, and she wouldn't ring up.
Must be them then.
What are we to do?
We were right, darling, aren't we? Whatever happens.
Now and always, sweet.
I don't care then.
This was bound to come sooner or later.
Allô? Allô? Hein, comment? Madame qui? Allô? Allô? Oh, oui, c'est ça. Oh, Madame du Vallon. Oui. It's only somebody wanting to talk to the dear Madame du Vallon.
Who is she?
I haven't the faintest idea. Je regrette beaucoup, monsieur, mais Madame du Vallon vient de partir cet après-midi pour Madagascar. That gave me a fright.
It sent shivers up my spine.
What shall we do if they suddenly walk in on us?
Behave exquisitely.
With the most perfect poise?
Certainly. I shall probably do a court curtsy.
Things that ought to matter dreadfully don't matter at all when one's happy, do they?
Well, the trouble is that one can't stay happy.
Darling, don't say that.
It's true. The whole business is a very poor joke.
You mean that sacred and beautiful thing, love?
Yes, meaning just that.
What does it all mean? That's what I ask myself in my ceaseless quest for ultimate truth. Dear God, what does it all mean?
Don't laugh at me. I'm serious.
You mustn't be serious, my dear one. It's just what they want.
Who is they?
All the futile mortals who try to make life unbearable. Laugh at them, be flippant, laugh at everything. All their sacred shibboleths. Flippancy brings out the acid in their damned sweetness and light.
Well, if I laugh at everything, I must laugh at us, too.
Certainly you must. We're figures of fun, all right.
Oh, how long will it last, this ludicrous, overbearing love of ours?
Who knows?
Shall we always want to bicker and fight?
No. That desire will fade along with our passion.
Oh, dear. Shall we like that?
It all depends on how well we've played.
And what happens if one of us dies? Does the one that's left still laugh?
Yes, with all his might.
Oh, that's serious enough, isn't it?
No, it isn't. That's very laughable. Such a cunning little mystery, all done with mirrors.
Darling, I think you're talking nonsense.
So is everyone else in the long run. Let's be superficial and pity the poor philosophers. Let's blow trumpets and squeakers and enjoy the party as much as we can like very small, quite idiotic school children. Let's savor the delight of the moment. Come and kiss me, darling, before your body rots and worms pop in and out of your eye sockets.
Oh, Elliot, worms don't pop.
I don't mind what you do, see. You can paint yourself bright green all over and dance naked in the Place Vendôme and rush off madly with all the men in the world, and I shan't say a word, as long as you love me best.
Thank you, darling. The same applies to you, except that if I catch you even looking at another woman, I shall kill you.
Do you remember that awful scene we had in Venice?
Which one in particular?
The one when you bought that painted wooden little snake on the piazza and put it on my bed.
Oh, Charles. That was his name, Charles. He did wriggle so beautifully.
Horrible thing, I hated it.
I know you did. You threw him out of the window into the Grand Canal. I don't think I shall ever forgive you for that.
How long did the row last?
It went on intermittently for days.
The worst one was in Cannes when your curling irons burnt a hole in my new dressing gown.
It burnt a hole in my comb, too, and all the towels in the bathroom.
That was arousal, wasn't it?
That was the first time you ever hit me.
Oh, it didn't hit you very hard.
The manager came in and saw us rolling around the floor, biting and scratching like panthers. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
I shall never forget. And his face.
How ridiculous. How utterly, utterly ridiculous.
We were very much younger then.
And very much sillier.
As a matter of fact, the real cause of that row was Peter Burden.
You knew there was nothing in that.
I didn't know anything of the sort. You took presents from him.
Presents. Only a trivial little brooch.
I remember it well, bristling with diamonds in the worst possible taste.
Not at all. It was very pretty. I still have it and wear it often.
You went out of your way to torture me with Peter Burden.
No, I didn't. You worked the whole thing up in your jealous imagination.
You must admit that he was in love with you, wasn't he?
Just a little, perhaps. Nothing serious.
You let him kiss you. You said you did.
Well, what of it?
What of it?
Well, it gave him a lot of pleasure, and it didn't hurt me.
What about me?
Well, if you hadn't been so suspicious and nosy, you'd never have known a thing about it.
A nice point of view, I must say.
Oh, I'm bored with this conversation.
So am I, bored stiff. Want some brandy?
No, thanks.
I have a little, I think.
I don't see why you want it. You've already had 2 glasses.
No particular reason, anyhow. They're very small ones.
Seems so silly to go on and on and on with a thing.
You can hardly call 3 liqueur glasses in a whole evening going on and on and on.
It's become a habit with you.
You needn't be so grand, just because you don't happen to want any yourself at the moment.
Don't be so stupid.
Really, Amanda?
What?
Nothing. Going out somewhere, dear?
No. Just making myself fascinating for you.
That reply has broken my heart.
It's the woman's job to allure the man. Watch me a minute, will you?
As a matter of fact, that's perfectly true.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Oh, do be quiet.
It's a pity you didn't have any more brandy. It might have made you a little less disagreeable.
It doesn't seem to have worked such wonders with you.
Snap, 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 like a little adder.
Adders don't snap, they sting.
Nonsense. They have a little bag of venom behind their fangs and they snap.
They sting.
They snap.
I don't care, do you understand? I don't care. I don't care if they bark and roll about the floor like hoops.
Did you see much of Peter Burden after our divorce?
Yes, I did. Quite a lot.
I suppose you let him kiss you a good deal more then?
Mind your own business.
You must have had a riotous time. No restraint at all. Very enjoyable. You never had much anyhow.
You're quite insufferable. I expect it's because you're drunk.
I'm not in the least drunk.
You always had a weak head.
I think I mentioned once before that I've only had 3 minute liqueur glasses of brandy the whole evening long. A child of 2 couldn't get drunk on that.
On the contrary, a child of 2 could get violently drunk on only 1 glass of brandy.
Very interesting. How about a child of 4 and a child of 6 and a child of 9?
You shut up.
We might get up a splendid little debate about that, you know, intemperate tots.
Not very funny, dear. You ought to have some more brandy.
Very good idea, I will.
Ridiculous arse.
I beg your pardon?
I said, ridiculous arse.
Thank you. Better turn it off, I think.
Why?
It's very late and it will annoy the people upstairs.
There aren't any people upstairs. It's a photographer's studio.
The people downstairs, I suppose.
They're away in Tunis.
There's no time of the year for Tunis.
turn it on again, please?
I'll do no such thing.
Very well. If you insist on being boorish and idiotic...
Turn it off, it's driving me mad.
Try to control yourself.
Turn it off!
I won't. There now. You have ruined the record.
Good job, too.
Disagreeable pig.
Amanda, darling, Solix.
Solix yourself.
You spiteful little beast! I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, darling. I swear I didn't mean it.
Go away, go away. I hate you.
Amanda, listen.
Listen indeed. I'm sick and tired of listening to you, you damn sadistic bully.
Thank you. Oh, pretty display, I must say.
Stop laughing.
Very amusing indeed.
Stop laughing like that. I hate you, do you hear? You are conceited and overbearing and utterly impossible.
You're a vile-tempered, loose-living, wicked little beast. I will not see you as long as I live.
This is the end. Do you understand? The end.
You're not going like this.
Oh, yes, I am.
No, you're not.
I am. Let go of me. You are a cruel fiend, and I hate and loathe you. It's a good thing I realized in time what you are really like. Marry you again. Never, never, never. I would rather die in torment.
Shut up. I wouldn't marry you again if you came cooler than you've been in Asia and me. You're a vampire. Who will never set eyes again as long as I live.
Brute! Devil!
Someday I'll find you, moonlight behind you, true to the dream I am dreaming. As I draw near you, you'll smile a little smile. For a little while we shall stand hand in hand. I'll leave you never, love you forever. All our past sorrow redeeming. Try to make it true. Say you love me too. Someday I'll find you again. When one is lonely, the days are long. Time is so fleet. Why shouldn't we meet? Each night I sing you a lover song. It's incomplete, my sweet, my sweet. Someday I'll find you, moonlight behind you, true to the dream I am dreaming. As I draw near you, smile a little smile. For a little while we shall stand hand in hand. I'll leave you never, love you forever. All our past sorrow redeeming. Try to make it true. Say you love me too. Someday